Hi, Girly Pop Society. Today we sat down with Brittany, a local perinatal and postpartum therapist in our community. She shared with us her first birth story that ended in a complicated postpartum recovery. She then went on to have a redeeming home birth with her second baby and shared that story with us as well. Can't wait for you to listen. We believe a birth story doesn't begin with labor, it begins with her. Welcome to Girly Pop Birth Talks, where we go beyond the delivery room. Each week, we interview a woman just like you and unlike you about her pregnancy, her birth, and also her becoming, and what led her to the most transformative experience of her life.
So grab a drink, a snack, and cozy up, because around here we go from laughing 1 minute to crying the next.
As we listen to the stories that shape us.
Because birth isn't just about babies, it's about the women who rise in the process. Brittany Sallaberry, welcome to Girly Pop Birth Talks.
Thank you.
Thanks for being here.
Thank you. So I'm married to Mark, my husband. We got married in 2019. I have 2 boys. I have Chase, who's 3.5, and I have Bo, who's 6 months. So I'm freshly postpartum here.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah.
When's
We
his
have a
birthday?
dog, Lenny, 9. I'm just saying Lenny because that's our first child.
Of course.
Yes.
Of course.
When's Bo's birthday? It was in August.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
So special.
Yeah. So what else? I'm a perinatal mental health therapist. So I am a therapist for moms who are pregnant and postpartum. I help them with things like anxiety, depression, intrusive thoughts, emotional overwhelm, et cetera, et cetera. We just chat and feel better.
Yeah.
That's the goal.
Yeah.
Did
Yeah.
you get into the perinatal space before becoming a mom?
Yes and no. So prior I worked at a hospital and I worked in labor and delivery. And so I was doing that kind of work as a social worker before I had kids. And then when I had my own, I had Chase and it kind of like was a whole different world for me. The hospital life became too much. I was commuting 45 minutes one way with a baby. It was just a lot of stuff. So once I quit, I decided to just be a therapist for moms instead. So kind of did a little before and now I specialize in it afterwards.
Mm-hmm.
That it can be a heavy space.
Yeah. It definitely hits
you're
different.
in it too.
Yeah. Yes. So I was postpartum back there working in the hospital and you see a lot of stuff and once
Yeah.
you have kids it hits a little bit differently.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Mm-hmm.
So going back, where did you meet your husband? How old were you?
Okay.
Where'd you grow up?
Yeah.
The whole story.
I know. I grew up in Jackson, which is a small town.
Yeah.
Not far from here.
Yeah, you
about
don't
an
hear
hour.
that very often.
Yeah. So I'm from there.
I went to a home birth in Jackson.
Yeah?
It was my most wild home
Wasn't that
birth.
the one that the
God.
midwife didn't make it?
Yeah, I had caught the
No.
baby as a brand new
Oh,
doula.
God. Wow. Yeah. So I'm from Jackson. I went to school at Davis, UC Davis, and that's where I met Mark. We have a very romantic story. We met at a frat party.
Oh.
So cute.
I
yeah.
love it.
It was our sorority and his fraternity and like a themed party. And
So you did the whole sorority life.
I did, but I joined as like a junior. Like at first I was like, this is not for me. But to make friends and get the whole college experience, I joined and did 2 years of that. So it was fun.
Do you have sisters?
Yeah, I have a little sis and a big sis and whatever. Yeah.
You don't really hear that, sure.
I know.
You're
That's why I'm like,
that's-
I
you
don't
always
have like
say it like
actual sisters,
You're
but I have
little.
sorority
Isn't
sisters.
that what you
my
call
little,
them?
yeah.
Like, and my big?
Yeah.
Wait, do you have biological sisters?
No, I am
Oh,
an
okay.
only child.
Oh, I thought you were like, I have a little sis and a big sis.
No,
And I
the
was like,
sorority.
what?
Yep, sorority.
Okay,
Hey,
so
you have a little sis and a big sis.
I do. So funny. Sorry.
You're
Okay,
good.
so you don't have siblings.
No, I'm an only child.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Did
How
you
was
like the
that?
sorority experience?
Okay, which one? Okay, how was that, you said?
Yeah, being an
Yeah.
only child.
I mean, it was great. I don't know any other experience, but when I decided to have kids, I wanted to make sure mine had a sibling. So just like a different experience. But my mom tells me that I always used to say, well, I never have to share my parents, so it's so nice.
Yeah, that's cute.
Yeah. So, and then you asked.
Yes.
Her church.
So, what was the sorority experience like? And then having sisters.
It was good. It was a little bit much. I'm kind of like low key, like casual.
Mhm.
Don't like to make a big deal out of stuff, and some of the sorority stuff was a little bit
Yeah.
too over the top for me. So, I feel like I just kind of used it to make my friends, and then kind
Yeah.
of did my own thing.
Yeah.
Did you meet lifelong friends?
Yeah. My
Like a husband? Just
my husband. Yeah. Obviously him, but yeah, I have some lifelong friends from the
Nice.
sorority for sure.
That's special.
So
Yeah.
when did you meet him? What year was this?
It was 2011.
Okay.
Yeah, so I was 20 right before I turned 21. We met at the party, kind of like hit it off after that. And then we didn't get married till 2019.
Yeah, it's a
Yeah.
long time.
Yeah.
So special.
We
Yeah.
always ask, like, how did you wait so long? Why did you wait
Yeah,
so
ask
long?
him. Just kidding.
Okay, that's the
Okay,
answer we
Mark.
needed.
Exactly. He'll love that. No, I mean, I went to grad school. He was working. We did long distance for a while. I moved back. I did my master's in Arizona, so I was gone for a bit. Moved back. We lived together. So it's like a whole bunch of things that would come
Yeah.
before getting married, and it just kind of like took the process slow. We both
Mhm.
wanted to be in a certain place in our life, and then, finally, when I was 29, got married. Yeah.
Okay.
And then it was like boom, boom, boom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how long after that did you guys start talking about starting a family?
Yeah, so I wanted to get started. Like I was turning 30, so I'm like, can we do this, please?
Mm-hmm.
My mom didn't have any more kids after me because she couldn't when she
Oh.
was 35. So I was like
Oh.
thinking in my head, like, what if that's my scenario too? So can we get started soon? So yeah, I got pregnant in 2021. So it was like 2 years of being married. And then Chase was born in 22. Yeah. So we just kind of like wanted to get a house first and just do things in order and feel settled like financially before we started trying.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Was the conception process pretty simple?
Yeah. So this part just makes me laugh because my husband, like I was saying before we started, he's a hunter. And so this is like his passion and like what he does for fun. So like if you're not familiar with hunting, there are different seasons that you can hunt different animals. And so like between I don't know, February to June, there's no hunting season. So he's like, let's time it so that we have the baby when there's no hunting season. And I'm like, dude, it
How
does not
thoughtful
work.
of him.
I know. I'm like, it doesn't work like that. Okay. We're just going to do it. We're going to try. And then, whatever happens, happen. It did work out in his favor. So we took like 3 months, and baby was due in May. So it all worked out.
Oh my gosh.
I know.
You should have told him, but then your son can't go hunting with you because his birthday trips every year will be.
Well,
That's
was
the thing,
part
is,
of the
like,
thing.
it's
Like he didn't want something in
to
the middle
keep
of
them
hunting
from-
season every single year.
You really thought through this.
He did. And
I'd
I was
love to
just
have
so
a hobby
annoyed,
like
but
that.
like it worked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sure
So-
he was happy about that.
He was. Yeah. Silly.
So you guys got pregnant.
Mm-hmm.
How many months were you guys trying?
Like 3.
Okay.
Yeah. 3,
Mhm.
4, something like that. So it's pretty quick. Pregnancy, not my favorite thing. I don't know who these people are that love being pregnant. Maybe
They're
you-
younger.
Okay.
No, I was that way when I was
Okay.
24
Yeah.
and then asked me about my pregnancy at 30.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's my theory now.
Makes sense.
When you're younger, it's like, oh, this is so beautiful and lovely.
Yeah, I didn't feel like that.
No.
No. I was just like, I don't even know that it was that bad. I was just uncomfortable. I had heartburn. I had Braxton Hicks contractions starting at like 16 weeks. Both of my
Wow.
pregnancies were like this. There's just like all the time, this like tightening in my stomach, just super annoying. No one
Mhm.
could tell me why. It's like I wasn't necessarily dehydrated. I don't know. I had this like other weird thing come up where like I couldn't pee for some reason. Like for a couple weeks from my pregnancy, I thought I was gonna have to go to the ER and get
Yeah.
a catheter.
How did you pee?
I just like had to really relax, take a hot shower, and then
Did
it
you do
worked.
the
But
peppermint oil.
I didn't know about that.
Mm.
Yeah.
Interesting. So just like the weight, maybe.
Yeah, so what I think now is like whatever anatomy is going on when your like uterus is going up and your like bladder is
Yeah.
like in the same place, it's like
Mhm.
blocking.
Mm-hmm.
For some reason, my
Yeah.
anatomy would do that, and so I would have like a really full bladder, and then I couldn't pee,
Yeah.
Nothing
and
worse.
it would be like so scary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the second pregnancy it happened like once, and I was able to
Oh
like,
my gosh.
I'm like, oh my god, this again. So just like you had to pee all the time, so your
Yeah.
bladder didn't get too full.
Yeah.
Have you heard of this before?
Yeah. I've heard
Okay.
of this before.
Because this is like
And
not
it-
very common.
Yeah. It can be common in pregnancy and postpartum.
Yeah, I've heard the postpartum, but
yeah,
I've never
I had
talked
the
to anybody.
postpartum thing once.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's weird.
From
Yeah.
swelling.
Yeah. So
Mhm.
then that happened, and then like I was working at the hospital one day, and I almost like passed out from like dehydration. I don't know, just like weird stuff kept happening.
Mhm.
I had to go to the ER and get fluids, and I don't know, just like really uncomfortable. And then I was commuting like 45 minutes, and then working at a hospital. I don't know. It's just like a lot of stuff.
Yeah. That
Um,
commute's long.
It is long. It's exhausting.
Yeah.
And then he went late. I was like, can you please? I had like mentally prepared myself because as a first time mom, I knew it was like likely to go late and I was planning for like an unmedicated birth. So I was like, okay, if I'm not going to get induced, he's probably going to go late. But it was like 10 days late.
Yeah.
I thought I was going to lose
You
my
should have been
mind.
more clear with that.
Yeah. And I don't think you can like mentally prepare yourself to go that late.
No.
Like it was awful.
Yeah.
No, I always say that. Like, you can tell yourself and you can normalize it, but you can't help but go crazy. And I also think that you kind of have to go crazy to want to get your baby out.
I think you're right.
I think that's kind of an essential part. Like, you have to
Lose your mind a little
lose
bit.
your mind.
Give up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like I would do anything to get this baby.
Yes.
out.
Yeah.
That's how I
the
felt.
surrender. Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
So you said that you were planning unmedicated birth. So tell us about like your thought process on that. What were your exposures to birth prior to getting pregnant?
Yeah, so I had never been like a maternal person who like loved to hang out with kids or anything like that. So
Mhm.
I'd never like thought about birth. When I got pregnant, I was just like, oh, I'll just do what everybody else does, epidural, you know, because that seemed like what everybody else did. Then I got pregnant and I started thinking about it and I just felt something in me that was like, this doesn't seem right or like doesn't align with me for some reason. Started doing research and I was like, can I do this? Can I do an unmedicated birth? I really got into it and like nerded out and read all the books, researched all the things, and was like, okay, I'm going to do this. So I was set to deliver at like Sutter Roseville. I had been going there for prenatal care, and I just didn't get the feeling that I was going to get that support I needed. And so, like, third trimester, I switched to Sutter Davis and felt like so much better about trying to do an unmedicated birth there. I had done like hypnobirthing stuff. I was listening to like all these different tracks, like at work when I'm walking around, just like trying to mentally prepare myself for that. And so switching to Sutter Davis was the best idea, but
Yeah.
not as far as the drive.
That's what holds a lot of our clients back. They're like, I can't commit to an hour drive.
Yeah, super far.
But what did you say? Was it worth it?
Yeah, it was worth it. I don't know what it would have turned out like, you know, going somewhere else. I feel like they probably would have gotten impatient and been like, let's do a C-section or something. I don't
Yeah.
know. Especially like working in labor and delivery, I kind of know how the doctors think and
Yeah.
how that goes.
That's what I was going to ask is you were working in L&D.
Mm-hmm.
So did that impact any of your
I know it's kind of
belief
weird that
systems?
like I feel like a lot of people who work in medical usually go for a medicalized birth, or
Yeah.
it seems like it.
Mhm.
But I just was so averse to that for some reason that I just have like a way of wanting things to be done naturally, like in all things kind of. And so when I started thinking about birth and like looking at how it goes in the hospital, I was just like, I don't want anything to do with this actually.
Yeah.
I don't want to be like in this position where I'm seeing moms for certain stuff.
Yep.
And yeah.
I think the switch is there, in our head too, or in people's head when they get pregnant. And it's like you thought this one way for your whole life. And
Yeah.
then you're like, oh, actually, I have to make decisions now.
This is
Yeah.
a real human life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I feel differently. We just took a
Exactly.
client on. She hasn't delivered yet, but she's an NP.
Oh.
And she always thought I want all the drugs. I want to be in the hospital. And now she's like, I don't want any of that.
Yeah.
And it's wild.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's interesting.
So to lean into it.
Yeah. So it definitely leaned into it and
Yeah.
nerded out on all that.
So did you do your own research and own support, or did you have anyone guiding you?
No, I just did it myself.
It's
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah.
Okay, so you find yourself at Sutter Davis.
Mm-hmm.
You're 10 days past due.
Yeah.
What was that like?
Yeah. How
It's
did
like
that
PTSD
unfold?
just
I
thinking
know.
about it.
We don't have to go there.
No,
The baby came out. That's all we need to
It's
know.
good. So I was seeing chiropractic throughout my pregnancy, and then so that was in Jackson. That was like 40 minutes from my house. So like day 9, I was like, I need to go back.
You kept your chiropractor in Jackson?
because I worked over there. So that's
Oh,
where
okay.
the hospital was.
Oh, okay.
So I'd be like commuting to
Oh.
Jackson to work at Sutter Amador, and then I would be like doing my appointment over there for the
Oh my gosh, I
chiropractor.
never hear about Sutter Amador.
Yeah, it's like a
What?
small little hospital.
Why'd you
They have
not-
an L&D? I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I'm
they
so
do,
stuck
yeah.
there.
But
We
they don't-
never have anybody talk about birthing there.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Super small. They don't do like VBACs or it's just a small little hospital.
Cute.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cute.
No, I love
Yeah.
it.
Why did you choose originally to birth at Sutter Roseville?
Yeah. So I'm like, you all do not need to see my vagina here.
Okay.
Like,
Yeah, for sure.
That makes
Some
sense.
people, most of the time, I find
they like that.
L&D is like, yeah, I wanted my coworkers there, but there's like the chance that that one random person you don't like is going to come in,
Yeah.
and you do not. I would not want that person
Exactly.
to see my lady Jules.
My lady.
Well, yeah. And then like as a social worker, I'm not there getting like my body checked on. I'm
Yeah.
not seeing other people's bodies. This is all
It's
like,
not normal.
social related stuff. So like to then have that relationship with the people in that,
Cross a
it would be
professional
so
boundary.
weird.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'd be like talking to them about a client and then they would be like, oh, I saw your vagina yesterday. I'm like,
Yeah.
no,
Yeah.
no, I
That
don't
makes
need that.
sense.
Y'all don't need this.
Yeah. Where were you
Uh,
living at the time?
In El Dorado County.
Okay.
Yeah. So it
Okay.
was still like a 40-minute
Mm-hmm.
drive. And so
Yeah.
I don't need to go that way to give birth, especially they don't have a NICU there. So like in
Yeah.
case anything happened, I didn't want to
Yeah.
do that. I know Davis has kind of like something.
Level 1, I think it's like a
Yeah.
nursery.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So didn't need to go over there.
Maybe it's a level 2. I don't know.
It was
Mm.
something more
They
than
can
what
do like
Jackson had.
CPAP and like
Okay. Yeah.
some of those
Yeah.
intermediate things.
So what were you doing in those 10 days as your birth was
So I took
impending?
full advantage of maternity leave and I left at 36 weeks because I was like, if I can, why wouldn't I?
Right.
So I was home for a month preparing for the baby, and then the baby goes late. And then all my coworkers are texting me and everybody and their mother,
Of course.
where's the baby? Where's the baby? And I just like was so pissed.
Yeah.
I was pissed off.
Yep.
I'm like, you guys need to like shut up
Mm-hmm.
and just leave me alone. And what was I doing? I don't know. I was just sitting around watching TV, going on walks, just all mad. So I went to the chiropractor.
Yes.
Right? Okay. So I drove over, went to the chiropractor, 9 days passed. And I think I was in some sort of prodromal labor looking back because the Braxton Hicks were just like all the time, a little bit more intense, but nothing was happening. So I did the adjustment, came home. Oh, and then the night before that, I had lost my mucus plug. So I was like, okay, things
At least there's
hopefully are
some
happening.
change. Yeah.
I don't know.
I feel like when you're 10 days late though, it's like nothing means
Right,
anything.
exactly.
Yeah.
So I didn't think anything. I was just
You're
like,
like
oh,
mucus plug
Dead.
yeah.
dead to me.
That's all I could do?
Yeah.
Piece of shit. Sorry.
She listens to a lot of women at this stage.
Yeah.
Yes. So anyway, didn't care. So I got home, we ate dinner. Like 8:30, I'm sitting on the couch and I stand up and a giant pop happens.
Mm.
And it was so loud and intense. And I was like, oh my God, that is definitely my water. Like, I don't know how anybody mistakes that if they do. So like go to the bathroom, it's like kind of pink tinge. And I was like, sweet, like let's do this.
Mhm.
And like started having some period cramp type sensations immediately. So we have to call over to Davis and talk to the nurse advice line. And then they call you back. And it's like such a process. So they call me back and the midwife calls me and she's like asking me, and I'm having contractions already. Like I went into labor quickly right after that. So they're like, I don't know. I don't even know how far apart they were, but they were just kind of sporadic. But they were definitely like, they weren't like mild. They were kind of moderate all at once. She was like, okay, well, like if you want to do an unmedicated birth, like stay home as long as possible. Call me back in 2 hours, get in the shower, see how it goes. So I get in the shower. That was awful. Hated it. Got out. I don't know. I was laboring. It's all kind of a blur because I think I just went in like labor land
Mhm.
immediately.
Mhm.
We call back and she's kind of like, well, I don't know.
The whole 2 hours you waited.
Mm-hmm.
Good.
Yeah. And I was like, I don't know. I think the contractions were still kind of like all over the place. It'd be like 8 minutes and then 10 minutes and like 6 minutes apart and like a minute long. I don't know. And she was like, well, I guess you could come now. And my husband's like, yeah, should we go? And I'm like, we're going. We're leaving now. We got to
Mm.
get out of here. Because for some reason in my head, I was like, this is harder than I think it should be. So can we please go? So we take like an hour to pack the car. I don't know what we were doing. I'm like, can we please
People
get out of
can't
here?
think when there's like
I
labor
know.
happening.
That's
My
a very
husband's,
common
like,
part of the
running
story is like
around.
people will be like, we decided to leave, and then 2 hours later we got in
Yeah.
the car. I'm like, what were you doing?
I have no idea.
Get a towel. Put the towel down. Grab the towel again.
Yes,
Yeah.
I like stopped
It's not
the
the right
car
towel.
to tell him to turn on the lights out front. Like,
Yeah.
you need to have the lights on for my parents when they come over for the dog. Like
Yeah.
they must be on.
Yeah.
I don't know why that matters.
Labor is not a sound mind.
Yeah.
And
So-
having your first real contractions,
Yeah.
like not the prodromal or the Braxton Hicks with
Mhm.
the water ruptured, is like a different beast.
Yeah.
I'll be interested to hear what happens with your second, but
Yeah.
the comparison.
Yeah. So I mean, it just felt like a strong period cramp, and it never felt like, oh, this isn't like I can't handle this,
Mhm.
which I was happy about. But I was
Yeah.
like, oh, maybe it's not that bad yet or something. So we eventually leave. The drive is 50 minutes. We live on kind of a bumpy road, and I was
Mm.
just like dying in the back
Gonna
seat.
gain some centimeters.
Oh my God, seriously, and I did. So like I was just dead silent on the way there.
Oh my god.
And Mark's in the front seat. I'm like completely unbuckled in the back on these pillows, and I can't speak. And he's like looking at me, and I had my eyes closed the whole time because I'm like, I don't want to see how far we still have to
Yeah.
go.
Yeah.
Like, just go.
Disassociate.
Yeah. So finally, I open my eyes. I'm like, okay, we're getting off the freeway finally. He's like, are you okay? Like, are you still in labor back there? And I'm like, Yes,
fighting my
I am
demons.
still in labor. Like, I don't know. He like pulls up and we walk to the front desk. This is like kind of like COVID times, right? 2022. And there's like security and they want to, I don't know, check you in.
Mhm.
And I like have to lean over the desk and like have a contraction. And they're like, just go back. It's fine. So we go back and then the midwife comes in. They want me to sign all of this paperwork. And I'm leaned over the bed like, I can't talk to you. So Mark's
Mhm.
signing paperwork. The midwife wants to come in and check me. So she checked me between contractions. And at first she's like, it was really hard to see, but I think you're like a 4 centimeter.
Oh, because
were
of
they doing-
speculum?
I don't know what they were doing.
If they were seeing, not feeling, then that had to be the speculum, which I know
Okay.
they do that, right?
Maybe, I
So
don't
silly.
know.
Do
I
you
was
get visual
sterile.
exam?
confused. See, feel, I don't know. Because
Okay.
then the next contraction happened and she was like, do you mind if I check you again? Because I feel like I didn't get a good, I don't know.
Okay.
I'm like, sure, whatever. So she goes in and then she comes out. She's like, oh, just kidding. You're like 8. It's like, what? 8 centimeters? Okay, cool. So I just
Wow.
went through
Incredible,
transition in
though.
the car.
Wow.
That's why I was silent, Mark.
Mark.
Excuse me, Mark.
So he was like, oh my God, I thought you were like not in labor anymore. You didn't even say anything. I'm like, what was I supposed to be doing? I don't
I was
know.
working through it.
Yeah. So
That's
um,
amazing.
yeah. And then I wanted to labor in the water, but they have to do like a COVID test and all this stuff.
Mm.
So they have to wait for the COVID test to come back.
I've never
To
understood.
get in the water?
Yeah.
No, because if you're COVID positive, they don't want to do water birth. I don't understand.
I don't know.
if your
It's your
vagina has
your
dropped.
COVID
Right?
might
What
just-
is
I don't
that?
understand
COVID's
it.
going to get in the water?
Yeah.
I that was the recommendation. I still don't know why.
Yeah.
So
I don't
wants
know.
to
Nobody
DM
knew
me.
anything, but I'm surprised
No.
at 2022 we still didn't know anything.
Right. Right. Exactly.
Yeah,
So waiting for
vagina
that.
COVID water.
All right. I don't know why that matters. And eventually I got in the water. So what time did we get there? I don't know. But anyway, so we left at 11:30. Would have gotten there like 12:30. Okay. So then I'm laboring and then finally she checks me again at like 3 a.m. And said I was complete. But like on the way over, I felt like I was pushing already. I even asked him when I got there, I'm like, I feel like I'm pushing, like what's going on? And that's why she rechecked me and was like, oh, it's 8.
Mm.
So I still to this day am confused about why I felt like I had to push. And then finally she gives me the green light to push. I was like, I was already pushing, but I don't know what you're talking about. I had like a cervical lip too. So she was like, oh, you're like swollen. Can I go in and like manually move it? Or do you want to like push past it? I'm like, this is taking like already too long. Even though it's like looking back, it's like fast, right? Faster. So I was like, just do whatever you need to do and just move it. So she did that.
In the water?
I don't know. I can't remember. I
Okay,
think so.
That's valid.
Right? I think I was in the
Probably.
water.
Do they let you push in the water back then?
Yeah.
Okay.
But eventually, so at 3 a.m., I'm complete. And then I ended up pushing for like 3 hours.
Oh my gosh.
And like for some, I don't know why it took so long. He was big. And it takes a long time the first
Mhm.
time, right?
Mhm.
I don't think I was like mentally prepared for that because thinking back to that birth, like right after, it felt almost like traumatizing to be doing that for that long,
Yeah.
even though everything went fine.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So like I'm pushing in the tub, doing whatever they're telling me to do. Like I'll
Mhm.
change positions. I don't care. Eventually she's like, this isn't working. Like, let's go to the bed. So I ended up on the bed, on my back, in the position I did not want to be giving birth in.
Mhm.
Mhm.
And that was the only thing that worked. I don't know why.
Sometimes it's what's needed.
Yeah.
I've seen it. Sometimes the baby needs to get under the pubic bone and that position drops them enough to
Mm,
make that arch and, you know.
yeah. So I was on the bed, and she kept asking me if I wanted a mirror. I'm like, look, I do not want a mirror. I don't know why you keep asking me about the mirror. I don't want to see anything. Please, just stop.
Because want my baby.
I know. I don't want to see like if I'm tearing or I was
Yeah.
just like terrified to see like what's actually happening. Oh, reach down, touch your baby's head. No, just please help
Just
me
get
get the
my
baby out.
Yeah.
We've
So
been doing this for
eventually-
3 hours.
Yeah. Eventually he came
Wow.
out. Midwife caught the baby, Mark cut the cord. All fine and good there.
How many hours from start to finish?
It would have been 10.
Okay.
Yeah.
10 hours start to finish. Pretty
Yeah.
fast, but 3 hours of pushing.
Or 6
Yeah.
hours if she started pushing at midnight.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I never thought about it like that because it felt like I pushed a long time before that, but I was
Yeah.
given the green light at 3.
Yeah. We had a lady on the podcast a couple months ago and she was pregnant
Mm-hmm.
and she was to like 9 or 10 centimeters when she got to the birth center, but it took her another like 6 hours to deliver because of that interruption of like the
I
car
think I
ride
listened
and
to that one actually.
Mhm.
Mhm.
and then she delivered and she'll tell her own story, but it was not that this time. It
Mm.
was as she wanted things to go. So I'm interested to hear about your home birth, like if
Yeah,
that changed.
it was a lot better.
Just
Yeah.
sometimes like I think people just watching you and like being in the tub, like expecting you to like push and have a baby
Yeah.
when you were still maybe laboring down some or
Yeah. The comment was afterwards, "That was a very athletic birth." I'm like, "What does that even mean?" She was like, "Oh yeah, you were like changing positions all over the place." I'm like, "I was just doing whatever like you wanted me to do to get this baby out." So, and they also called in like the RT, the respiratory therapist, because there was like meconium in the water.
Mm.
And I wasn't even concerned about that because I was just like, whatever, like the baby's fine, like relax. So there
Mhm.
was people coming in the room right as I was pushing the baby out, and I was just like, don't think about it, like
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
get the baby out. But it is kind of like it's weird. I don't need all these people here. I
Did
just
your
wanted
baby
it.
transition fine?
Yeah, he was totally fine. Everything was good there. Trying to breastfeed immediately after was super painful for me.
Mm.
Just like very sensitive. And so they slapped a nipple shield on me first feed. Um, Never told me how to stop using the nipple shield.
They don't.
No, it was so messed up. My postpartum experience over there was not great, and in general, like, breastfeeding was super painful. The nipple shield, they didn't tell me what I was supposed to do with it or when to stop using it. They checked for ties, but there was nothing, so to speak. I think maybe he had some like body tightness. He was 8 pounds, 10 ounces. He was large, I feel like, for my frame.
Yeah.
So maybe he was like squished in there
For
somehow,
3 hours,
it's like heads
yeah.
all.
Well, yeah, that's a long pushing.
Yeah.
And I definitely see like how fast a lot like that 10-hour labor is pretty fast
Mm-hmm.
in the general, scheme of no matter the length of the labor.
Yeah.
I think even though the benefits are really positive to breastfeed within the first hour of delivery, if the mother just needs a minute, like that shock and sensitivity feeling,
Mm-hmm.
like I feel like it needs to be honored and like
Yeah.
trusted, like
Yeah.
you're going to feed the
Mhm.
baby when you're ready to feed the baby.
Right. I didn't even really, they just like, plopped him on my
Yeah.
chest. I'm like, okay, we're doing this.
Yeah.
Mhm.
They're very aggressive with it because like
Yeah.
they're told,
Yeah.
even we're told, hour.
Yeah. The golden hour. Yeah. So she's stitching me up too at the same time.
That's such a shock to the body. And you're
Yeah.
like getting this
There's no
baby on your nipple.
oxytocin.
No.
Yeah.
No, there's not. That's probably part of the problem, right?
Yeah.
I had a 2nd-degree tear. I felt like she was down there forever. I was like right at shift change because he was born at like 6, and so she's trying to get out of there. They do it in the dark, like, because, they're all about the ambiance in the room.
Yeah.
So she had like a headlamp on and was like down there, which I appreciate. But I'm like looking back, I'm like, did you do that right?
Yeah.
Maybe we should have turned the lights on.
Yeah.
Lights are totally fine with me.
Yeah, I don't know. So there was that, and then they walk you over to postpartum, the wing, and over there it just felt like they did not care.
Mm.
And I don't want to say anything about the hospital or whatever. I have no idea what it's like now. That was just one experience,
Yeah.
but um, my husband and I never had been around like many babies. We didn't know much about baby care. We were expecting them to kind of help us and show us
Yeah.
like, how do we swaddle? What do we do? Not much help. I mean, the baby was like snorting, because he had stuff in his nose, and we're like, hey, can you guys suction his nose or help us? No, we can't, because if we do that, then his nose is gonna be too dry and you don't want that. I was like, okay. So like,
but the mother's asking for it, then
Yeah.
that should be,
yeah,
why are we not listening to your instincts?
they didn't care. So I had my husband go buy a nose free to CVS and come back and
Oh
do it
my
himself.
Oh my
Gosh.
gosh. I mean, good for you that you listened and you did what you
Yeah.
needed to do,
I
but
don't know. It's just like,
you're like, just get me out of here. Let me go home.
well, I ended up staying 2 nights because I was actually in so much pain. And I felt like so unprepared for this part of it. But like, I didn't know I was going to be in that much pain. And I have like a high pain tolerance. Like, I thought, I handled the unmedicated pushing
Yeah.
and all of that. I felt like I got hit by a truck.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like, my whole body was just
Well, you had an athletic birth.
very athletic.
So-
I was just, it was a marathon, literally, though. Right?
Yeah.
So weird. Looking back, I had a birth injury and I didn't know about it. And they made me feel like there was something wrong with me because like I took Tylenol. I'm like, this isn't doing anything. Like my husband had to help me change all of my pads. I could barely walk to the bathroom.
Oh,
I
Brittany.
I didn't shower while I was there, which is like always a red flag to me with the moms that I would see. Like, are you showering? Have you showered
Mhm.
yet? I couldn't shower. And so I just didn't know what was wrong. Looking back, like I had a pelvic floor avulsion, which is like when the pelvic floor muscle tears off the bone on one side,
Oh my gosh.
or like partial. And that actually happens a lot during birth, but nobody knows about it. It's hard to diagnose. I went to pelvic PT. About 3 weeks postpartum, I started feeling like a heaviness sensation down there and like a tampon feeling. And I was like,
Mm.
oh, I probably have prolapse. Cool.
So
So
you knew that.
yeah, because I had listened to like a ton of birth stories before, and done lots of research. And I had already seen pelvic PT in the past because I had already, like, I have a hypertonic pelvic floor, which means I run kind of like tense,
Mhm.
things don't relax very well. So I was kind of already aware of that. But getting that diagnosis, is like debilitating because you just walk around and you feel that sensation all day and it's awful. Um, Prior to like getting pregnant, I was like lifting weights and do all these things and like, we would backpack and whatever, like active. But you just feel like you can't move your body because any movement you do could make it worse.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so like I couldn't baby wear because any extra weight on my
Mm.
body would like make that feel yucky. I went to pelvic PT and like had to deal with that. I didn't I felt the sensations until I was like 16 months postpartum.
Wow.
So it
Wow.
lasted a long time.
You were in a different body, and then you're
Mhm.
navigating this brand new side of yourself that you're just meeting for the first time,
Mhm.
and you're responsible for a baby,
Yeah.
and you don't know this body. That
Right.
is just, it's, I think, one too many things to process at once.
Yeah, I think I had a lot of anxiety I didn't realize until later. Um, I think the birth kind of put me on edge just because for some reason it felt like traumatic a little bit just from everything I went through and then dealing with this postpartum. I was like trying to keep this baby alive and like I didn't even feel good. I couldn't like go walk around like I used to. So like all my coping mechanisms that I was using before like just didn't apply. Um, and it was just like totally different and
Yeah.
it took a long time to feel better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Were you still in social work at this time, or have you?
Yeah. I had to go back to work at 4 months postpartum.
Okay.
So I was like feeling like that while I was working at the hospital all day. It's just like misery.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. So
What was the treatment? Just pelvic floor PT?
pelvic floor PT, pretty much. There's a lot of different things you can do. But I just did PT and then kind of like PT exercises and then like full body strengthening and things like that usually help as well. I think what actually helped most is like me going back to weightlifting and then that kind of made my symptoms disappear. But it was like you're afraid to weightlift
Yeah.
because it's like a whole cycle. So eventually doing that and then starting to feel like things were getting better.
Okay.
Yeah. How did they diagnose the avulsion?
Your pelvic PT can go inside when they're doing like an internal exam and like feel with their fingers like the difference in muscle on one side and the other. And like for yourself, sensation wise, it feels weird when they're back there. Like, what's this feel like? I'm like, feels like you're poking me in the butt. And on the other side, it feels like you're poking me in the muscle. So there's like no muscle right there.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. It's weird.
Is there any way to prevent that in birth?
I think, focusing on lengthening your pelvic floor and being able to relax when you're pushing the baby out somehow
Yeah.
is
Super
probably
easy.
yeah. Yeah. So I don't know. I don't know if that's the right prevention or what, but that's what I would think.
So how did that inform your choice about getting pregnant again?
Yeah.
Because
Probably a
you
big
wanted
choice.
multiple, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah.
then to go through that again.
Yeah. So I didn't feel comfortable getting pregnant again until Chase had just turned 2. We also breastfed to like 26 months, and I just wanted like a month to myself.
Yes.
where I'm not
26
sharing.
months after a
I
hard
know.
start is
Yeah,
that's
incredible.
amazing.
Yeah. Part of the reason is because it was the only thing that would make him sleep. So
Oh.
I feel like I'm
this
not
is how
getting
you're
rid
going
of
to
this
sleep.
yet.
Yeah. This
Yeah.
is my tool.
Yep. My tool, co-sleeping, all of it.
So you only took a month off of
Yeah.
pregnancy and breastfeeding.
Yeah. So I took a month off, and then the following month we tried to get pregnant, and it worked.
Wow.
Yeah.
Was it during the off season again? Or did your husband let go of the hunting thing?
Oh, so let me think. No, it would have lined up perfectly. So I ended up having a miscarriage with that
That's
baby.
right. Yeah.
And that baby was due in May, just like Chase was.
Oh,
So
wow.
it worked out pretty perfectly. But for some reason, I just felt like, this is too easy. It's too good to be true. Like, I don't think it should be this easy to get pregnant again. And I feel like that's just like anxiety talking. But
Yeah.
I ended up like having a miscarriage and going through all of that.
Mm-hmm.
And then eventually, like, after that was over, we tried again quickly because I saw that 35 deadline coming in on me, like the age. And I was like, what if I can't get pregnant again? What if this miscarriage is like the end? Like, what if I what if this is it? And it wasn't, but we tried again immediately, and it took 2 months. So the second month I got pregnant with Bo, and he
Okay.
was due end of July.
And what was your last, how many gestations? How many
It was
gestations? How many
like
weeks?
it was it was like 5-6 weeks.
Okay.
It was super early, but it like really rocked me.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I was surprised by that because, I for some reason had thought about miscarriage but never thought it would happen to me. I don't know.
Mhm.
You just don't think like that.
Yeah.
And here I am talking to clients about miscarriage and stillbirth, and it was pretty rough to be talking about that while dealing
Yeah.
with it myself,
Yeah.
and trying to like hold it together.
Absolutely.
So I found a therapist.
Good.
Yeah, and that was so helpful.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And then, that next pregnancy was a lot of anxiety because I was just nervous, like, what if something's gonna happen? Like,
Yeah.
you don't know.
Mhm.
So,
Does take your innocence. Okay.
yeah, it kind of took the joy out of it a little bit.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't want to tell anybody. I didn't let my parents tell anyone until like 20 weeks after like the anatomy scan and all of that.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't pick out a name super early. We didn't pick out a name till after he was born, actually. We couldn't decide.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, that
So once you
pregnancy.
felt confident in the pregnancy, did your choices change? Like, when did your choices change from, are we going to the hospital again? Are we
Oh,
doing something
yeah.
different?
Yeah. So I was thinking I would just do the same thing. I didn't love the idea, but I didn't really know what other option there was. And I felt like home birth was like too radical.
Mm.
Because I had seen so many bad things happen working in a hospital and listening to my clients' stories about all of these bad things happening, right? So I'm like, I could never, my anxiety would never let me. But I had a friend who had a home birth, and she talked to me. They came over for dinner, and I was like, nah, I don't know, you guys. This is like too sketchy. But then I hung out with her again when I was like further pregnant, like, I don't know, I was like 10 weeks or something. And, in the medical system, they don't want to check you until you're like 12 weeks along because they're like, well, if you have a miscarriage, like, what's the point of even
Yeah.
seeing you this early?
Which is so wild to me.
It's rough because I needed some sort of validation or reassurance that the
Mhm.
baby was fine.
But
Yeah.
also, like, you don't matter until you're 3
Yeah.
months pregnant. You know,
Right.
it's like, why
And
care
that's
for
when
me
you feel
today?
awful. You
Yeah.
feel terrible.
You need care in that time.
Yeah. So that was rough. I got like anatomy or not an ultrasound, an early ultrasound, and then they confirmed the pregnancy. I don't know. At Sutter Davis. That was at like 12 weeks or 13 weeks. 12. But anyway, I talked to my friend, and then she started telling me because I had some concerns about safety and like emergencies and home birth. And so she just kind of told me about it and reassured me, gave me some good podcasts to listen to. And then I was kind of like, huh, I think this actually might be more what I do want to do. Because one, I wouldn't have to drive.
Mhm.
And the only hospital I want to deliver at is like 50 minutes away. I'm assuming it's going to go faster. I don't want to give birth in a car. And I would love to like not leave my house. Sounds cool. And if I'm going to do it unmedicated anyway, what's the point of driving somewhere?
Yeah.
So Mark was on board with that for the most part. I interviewed 3 different midwives to try and decide and see what their take would be. I also wanted to see what their support is for like pelvic floor and how
Yeah.
informed they were. So I ended up going with Elise, and she was awesome. And so we started care with her like the end of the first trimester.
Nice.
Yeah. So
Okay. And your husband was on board, you said.
he was, yeah.
No
He
qualms.
he was just kind of like, you know what? I'm gonna have to deliver this baby. I know it. You're having a home birth, and for some reason, I just think that, the midwife isn't gonna get here in time, or she'll be at a different birth, and then I'm just gonna have to deliver this baby. And I'm like, I don't know about that, but like, if you
Love the
do,
confidence.
it's fine. I
Yeah.
mean, we're planning to have unmedicated anyway. I just like was not concerned about this. I was just like,
Mhm.
if we have to deliver the baby, it's fine. We don't need anything.
Mhm.
Yes, I love that.
I
It
know. I
sounds
don't
like
know
a
where
lot of
that came
peace.
from.
Mhm.
Yeah, but I
Mhm.
felt like at peace with it. I think Elise
Yeah.
is just sort of like a calming
Yeah.
Mhm.
presence, and just like she kept us feeling fine about it.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And then I'm curious, and I think the listeners are too, with the pelvic floor.
hmm
Was there any considerations? And I wonder if that has anything to tie in. Did anything go back to your bladder in pregnancy that tied into the convulsion?
So I don't think so, but what I did learn is like sometimes people with a uterus that tilts back sometimes have this more often. And I did know, like I talked to a pelvic floor therapist who said sometimes this happens more often with people maybe when they have prolapse, because my type of prolapse was bladder. So it means like the bladder descended more.
Mhm.
And so there was already this like weird thing with the bladder. So I don't know if there was like some sort of piece to
Yeah.
that.
Mhm.
Yeah. I was able to just avoid that this time, but I did like it happens right around 13, 14 weeks or something for me.
Okay.
It's weird.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very strange. Being pregnant with a toddler, it's not fun.
No.
Yeah.
It's not. I mean, I don't think you can describe it until you have felt it.
Mm-hmm.
And it is like it is not for the weak of heart or whatever. It
Yeah.
is like a marathon that never ends.
Yeah. Did he stay a big boy?
Who, Chase?
Yeah.
He would have been 2.5, and he is busy. So like I'm chasing him outside on this like motorized tractor, and I'm like, oh my God, I'm gonna die. Like this is awful.
When you said that you took like a super long maternity leave, I was like, yes, because it's that reason right there that I tell people like take the sick days in your first trimester.
Yeah.
Take the longest maternity leave in your first pregnancy because you will never,
Right?
ever get to do it again.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't get to rest like that again.
No.
No.
No, I
It's-
can't. Like Cocomelon is problematic
Ugh.
anyway, but I actually feel like throwing up even talking about it because it was the only show that like would hypnotize my daughter because that's what it does, right?
Yeah.
So I put it on to hypnotize her because I was so ill.
Oh yeah.
And I would just lay on the couch and put her like behind me and turn on Cocomelon. And now when I hear that song, I'm nauseated because it brings me right back.
It makes sense. It
Yeah.
makes sense.
The
I
only
was
thing-
super nauseous
Mhm.
with the first and the second pregnancy. I was nauseous
Mm.
for like 13 weeks or something.
Mhm.
And like, they give you all these things you can do to make it better. I was just like I didn't even have the bandwidth to change anything. I was just like trying to survive. So
Mhm.
like I just suffered through it basically. Didn't really do anything different. And it was just what you said. I would put on TV for the
Yep.
toddler because I
Mhm.
just couldn't do anything
Yeah,
else. Like you
have to.
just can't survive.
Yeah.
Yeah. When I go talk to moms and they're pregnant with their second, third, fourth, fifth, and we talk about like postpartum recovery and rest, which is so important. And we
Yeah.
need to figure out a way in America to honor that without
Yeah.
it costing 20 grand
Right.
with the postpartum doula. But they just laugh. They're like, okay, that's cute, Becca. A 555 who? Are
Yeah.
you gonna come over and implement that?
Yeah,
Mhm.
exactly. And
Yep.
I would say like being postpartum with a toddler and a newborn was easier
Than being
than
12 weeks pregnant with a toddler.
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
Yeah.
I was so tired. I would tell people, you know how like when you're super hungover and you have to go to work and you just feel like death?
Mhm.
Like you feel like that, but it's like always.
Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah, there's no break.
Yeah.
Yep. Super relatable.
Yeah,
That's a great
exactly,
analogy.
right? It's horrible. You're
Yeah.
just like
It
walking
is that hungover
around,
feeling
like,
of like, am I
yeah,
gonna throw up? But not
yeah,
really. And I
exactly.
can't eat anything.
Yeah,
and
Yeah.
it's
No
bad.
amount of sleep is helping.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Mhm.
Yeah. So pregnancy was not fun again. I don't love it. Again,
Mhm.
16 weeks, Braxton Hicks.
Mm.
Probably was, I mean, maybe I was just dehydrated all the time. I have no idea what that's about. I ended up getting restless leg syndrome towards the end of
Ugh.
pregnancy. It was so horrible. I didn't have that the first time.
Mm.
Had to get an iron infusion. So it's just like depleted, like
Yeah.
mentally and physically,
Mhm.
all the things. I was mentally preparing myself to go late again.
Yeah.
And we did.
How many days?
8 days.
Did the
Oh my
preparation
God.
help?
It helped maybe like one day past my due date, honestly, because I was like,
Yeah.
well, they say the second one comes sooner.
See, all those little things get in your freaking head.
They do.
Yep. I was.
It was
Yep.
awful.
Yeah. I feel this.
And I just wanted the baby to come, and I was worried about Chase because, like, okay, my parents are going to take him, sort of like a whole dance. Like,
Mhm.
when I go into labor, they need to come and get him. And, I just
Yeah.
wanted it to be done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So just like the first pregnancy, I had been going to chiropractor
Mm.
towards the end. I also went to acupuncture a lot, which helps the heartburn,
Ooh,
which was
good tip.
really great.
Mhm.
So at, let's see, 8 days. No. A week past my due date. Elise is talking to me about things like, okay, we can start trying some things if we're going to go the full 2 weeks past or whatever. And I'm just like, no. So I scheduled chiropractor and acupuncture on the same day. I had been going to an acupuncture clinic and she was out of town. So I went to that like specialist right next to her office, like the fertility
Oh, yeah.
acupuncture guy. Anyway, it was great. Did that, then went to chiropractor and I was like, come on, this has got to work.
Mhm.
So I lost my mucus plug that night and I was like, sweet,
This is my
let's
thing.
do this. And then the next day, my parents were over and they took Chase to their house. And they live in Jackson.
Mm.
And so we were like, okay, so that way if I go into labor, he's already there. And I was thinking, okay, I'm going to go into labor like this next morning or something. Nothing happened. I was just so mad
Yeah.
again. That night, we had dinner and I'm like, I'm still nothing happening.
Since we're talking about food, let's get the mocktail.
Right from the freezer. Okay, so
What do we
today's
got?
mocktail is green
Cute.
apple seltzer.
Ooh.
And then it
Not
has
seltzer, sparkling water.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
sparkling
This is a
water.
okay,
mocktail.
not seltzer.
And then
Cute.
Wish Garden, if you want to sponsor us, it has their Liquid Bliss herbal tincture
What is
in
that?
it. It's a mood elevator.
Oh,
So it has different
It's
herbs in it.
So it's a
Cool.
little bit weird to
So
have
it's
an
like an
herbal mocktail. Just
I
be
like it.
prepared.
I like it.
Adaptogenic.
Adaptogenic.
Okay, God, Becca. Hate myself.
It smells good. It smells like apples.
Let me see. Yeah. This doesn't look like that time that you put like 86 herbs into my
Yeah.
mocktail.
No, this is only 7.
She was
drops.
like,
Oh,
we're
that's
getting
good.
high tonight.
Yeah, herb high.
It's good.
I hope your mood is elevated.
I think
It
they're all at the
is.
bottom. No, I taste them.
That's good.
I love the taste of herbs.
Which herbs?
All of them. Like,
Did you take a lot of herbs with a home birth midwife?
I did. Yeah, a lot of different
Just
tinctures.
tinctures. Yeah,
Yeah.
especially for those Braxton Hicks, I'm sure.
Yeah, I don't think anything worked.
I really respond to it.
Really?
Maybe it's like psychological, but for me,
Placebo
it
effect or
works.
something?
Yeah.
I love it.
I'm glad it works. I
Yeah.
was trying everything and I'm like, Elise.
I mean, I haven't had a baby with herbs, but for me, I use it for like mood stuff and
Mhm.
I respond to it.
That's
We'll see
cool.
if we can get a little mood boost from this.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's yummy.
Okay, so you're never having your baby. So why sleep? Why eat quality food?
Yeah, exactly.
We're just doing the
Yeah.
other things.
Yes.
So what happens next?
I'm all mad. I go to bed and then I wake up to pee at like 11 something because I'm up every hour to pee anyway.
Mhm.
I stand up and then my water starts leaking. I was like, thank you.
You know what this
Mhm.
means.
Yes. So I get Mark up. I'm like, hey, guess what? So we're like all excited. I start having contractions every 10 minutes.
Oh, it's amazing that you start labor right away.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
know.
that's
It's great. It's like I wait so long. It's just all happens at once. So I text Elise and she's like, cool. Like, let me know how it goes. And then at like 2, it's still like every 10 minutes, the contractions are like fine. I tell Mark, just go back to bed. It's fine. I'll just go I'll labor somewhere else. So I go to the toddler's room and I just go in there and labor by myself for hours. I just sleep between the contractions
Mhm.
and I'm just like over the birth ball and I start texting Elise like, hey, this like what's going on? Nothing's happening. Once again, I'm impatient because I figure, oh, this is gonna go really fast once my
Mhm.
water breaks. And then Mark gets up at 6 and he's like, oh my God, where are you? So he's like looking around the house. What are you doing? Are you okay? I'm like, yeah, there was nothing happening. So I just came in here. And then like he goes to make coffee. Meantime, I am like emptying my bowels from this lovely thing that I ate from the freezer that was expired.
No.
But I was like, oh, maybe it's just I'm in labor and that's why this is happening, or
Mm.
maybe it's this chicken patty.
Mhm.
So bad.
Oh,
so
no.
so
I'm
gross.
so sorry.
Yes, me too. Yeah.
Did it have like the castor oil effect though? Did it kind
I
of
don't
get
know.
some contractions going?
Probably because things happen really quickly. So I'm texting Elise at like 6, hey, nothing. She's like, okay, well, actually, I'm at another birth. And I'm like, are you kidding me?
Oh,
Your husband
Oh my
knew it.
God. Yeah, he was like, I told you this was going to happen. They're not going to make it. Are they coming? When are they coming?
Oh no. So you're not having contractions, but you're going to the bathroom every couple
I'm
minutes.
having contractions like
Every
10 minutes and then going to the bathroom in between all of this. But I'm also like eating snacks, drinking water. Like I'm trying to do all the things I'm
Replenish.
supposed to be doing.
Mhm.
Yeah, replenish because I'm emptying out.
Yes.
And then at like 6:30 or something, my water finally breaks, like
A full
movie
Oh, okay.
style, like pop, like splash. I scream. I was like,
Oh my gosh.
it scared me. Like yelling at Mark to bring towels.
Mm.
And so that was at 6:30. Baby was born at 8:40.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So
Wow.
then I'm texting Elise like, hey, my water just broke. She's like, okay, let me know. And then like 5 minutes later, I'm like, hey, these contractions are like really intense, like 6-7 minutes apart already. I don't know how I knew that, like one contraction later. I was looking back at the text messages, but they got intense.
But you knew.
Yeah. And I remember going to the bathroom yet again, and I'm in the bathroom and I'm like shaking. And I was like, oh my God, I'm like
Mm.
shaking. This is like, why am I shaking? This is so weird. Like probably going through transition, like
Mhm.
immediately. I didn't even notice. Like didn't even know that's what that was.
Mhm.
So I'm telling Mark, hey, go get the bed ready. Like let's move to the bedroom. I'm back there. And then he's like messing around with the sheets. I'm like, actually, can you just fill the tub? Please fill the tub. Like we need to get in there now. So he's like filling the tub, and then Elise is like, okay, I'm heading over. And then
Where was her other birth? Do you know?
Placerville. So it's
Okay.
nearby.
Okay.
That works out.
Yeah. So it was like, she said, ETA like 22 minutes. I'm like, sweet. Mark, see, it's gonna be fine. Okay, so then I'm like leaning over the back of the bed and I'm like, I'm starting to push, dude. Like, I need to get in this tub now. He's like, oh my God, okay. So I get in and he's like, I'm gonna have to deliver this baby. I'm like not concerned. I'm like, it's fine, okay, it's fine. So then she calls us or texts us and she's like, oh, I had to go to the store for my client or whatever. She needed something. And so now I'm leaving it. And we're like, oh my God, you're still not on your way? God. So then Mark calls them because I'm pushing in the tub, like actively pushing the baby. And she puts me on speaker and she's like all calm and everything. And I'm just like, how are you calm while you're driving? Later, she tells me, she was like, I was passing cars and I got flipped off on the way over. And they were hauling ass, her
Oh
and
my gosh.
Victoria.
Nice.
So they get there and baby was born like half hour after.
Wow.
Yeah. So pushing this time was like only 30 minutes. I could actually feel like movement. I'm like, okay, this is good. This is gonna be much better. I like actually relaxed my pelvic floor. Like I remember being able to do that in the moment, and I was like
Wow.
so proud of myself
Wow.
because that's like so hard to do when you're like in pain.
Yeah.
I also remember thinking and telling Mark, like, we're not doing this again. We're done after this. This is it. I cannot believe we didn't go to the hospital. Like that moment in transition when you're just like, I can't do this.
Yeah.
And then it passed. And I'm
Yeah.
like, okay,
Yeah.
all right, we're fine.
Yeah.
Everything's fine.
Yeah. So baby was born in the water. Mark caught the baby. And then, home birth is amazing.
Yeah.
So nice to be at home. I'm like, and even Mark was like, why does anybody go to the hospital?
Yeah.
We could hang out in our bed. We
Yeah.
could order food. Like Elise is just like calmly checking the baby. And, I tore like 2nd degree, but so small that she was like, I don't think he even needs stitches. So that's different. Great.
Mhm.
I walked to the bathroom. I was
Mm.
able to like change myself. Like
Yeah.
everything felt so much better this time.
Wow.
And I was like, oh, this is where it's at.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you didn't feel that whole train effect this time, like the train hit
Getting
you.
hit by a train.
No, I like felt great. I was like, oh, this is amazing. I could do that again.
Oh my gosh.
I'm not going to do it again. Just saying. Right now. Don't know. I'm not going to do that again. But like it was a much better experience. And
How
home
was
birth is
breastfeeding?
cool. Breastfeeding was fine. Baby
Wow.
latched immediately. No issues. I'm just like, oh, thank God.
No shocky feeling that time?
No,
Wow.
nothing. Yeah, it was just
Wow.
bliss this time.
I think Mark's intuition's so cool that he knew that she would be at a birth.
Right?
He knew he
It's
did catch the
funny.
baby.
Yeah.
Yeah, he
That's so
did.
cool.
He didn't have to deliver the baby, but he wanted to catch the baby anyway.
Yeah.
He was just afraid he was going to be the only one there.
Yeah. You delivered the baby.
Yeah. Exactly. So, much better this time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I noticed that both times, and of course we always do this, we like leave out the really intense parts because we kind of forget about them. But
Yeah.
what's your tip for handling contractions? Because both your stories, that stood out to
Mm.
me, that you just kind of did it. Like you didn't have
Yeah.
anybody there
That's
supporting
true.
you or anything.
Yeah, I think for me, the mental preparation was so helpful. I just didn't even think that there was a way out.
Mhm.
Like when you go to the hospital, you think, well, if it's too bad, then I'll just get an epidural. But then you're like mentally telling yourself, you can do that. But like if you just say, I'm not, there's no reason to, or,
Mhm.
I've handled it. Like
Mhm.
there's all these different mantras they
Mhm.
have you say for hypnobirthing. I think that just like really stuck in my head
Mhm.
and just telling myself like my body was made for this.
Mhm.
People have been doing this forever. Like they
Mhm.
didn't need to go to the hospital for their pain. I don't know. I just never really felt like the contractions were so bad where I needed to do something about it. It just kind of like let it roll through me. I don't know.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's the best way.
Yeah.
If you just have your
Surrender.
mindset that
Yeah.
this
Yeah.
is the only way,
Yeah.
then it is the only way.
Right.
And you're like fully able to release and surrender versus like always a party that's like, there's a way out, which there
Yeah.
is. Like,
Yeah,
and
there
it's a
totally
wonderful
is.
way out.
And that's fine. Yeah.
But yeah, if you want to do it, it's good to get in that mindset. It really is like way more mindset than anything else.
Yeah, I think so. I tell people that all the time. And I think I'm impressed by people who don't prepare mentally and just are able
I
to do it. Because
know.
I'm just like, how do you do that? I don't think I
Yeah.
could have done that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. So pelvic floor this time.
Mm-hmm.
How did that go in postpartum?
Everything felt so much better, so much more normal. Elise was like, everything looks good. But I did end up having some prolapse symptoms come up, but nothing like the first time. Like there's some days where I don't feel anything. There's some days where I only feel something towards the end of the day because like, as the day wears on you, things
Yeah.
get more fatigued.
Yeah.
I am going to pelvic PT again,
Mhm.
and it's helpful, but it's nothing like the first time. And
Good.
I'm pretty confident that it's going to be like,
Much better this
yeah,
time.
Yeah.
Much
it's
quicker
much more
recovery.
manageable, and I'm not like so focused on it. I'm just like, I feel like I don't even have time to think about it because like with the two of them, I'm just like, I don't have time to dwell on this. Like it is what it is. I'm just going to ignore it, like dissociate from it. So
We love the dissociation.
Yeah,
My number
it
one coping
works.
skill.
Yeah, right? It works. So it's much better. This experience has been a million times better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As far as your professional life,
Mhm.
how can people, because you do virtual support,
Yeah. So
how
I
can
can
people
see.
find you and get support?
Or
Or how do they know they need support? I guess
Right.
is
Well,
another
that's a good
question.
question. So I always like to tell people if you have a history of like anxiety or depression or any sort of mental health stuff prior to getting pregnant, you should find a therapist just in case because like the likelihood that you have something come up during pregnancy and postpartum is increased if you already
Mhm.
have a history of that. And so like why not just find a therapist ahead of time?
Yep.
Because when you're postpartum, you are not going to have time or want to find somebody. If you already have someone lined up and you've seen them a couple times while you're
Mhm.
pregnant, then you're golden. If you need it, great.
So
If
much
you don't,
easier to just like book an appointment with somebody
oh, for sure.
than
Yeah,
everything feels so hard postpartum. That's not
totally.
just an essential, you know?
Yes.
So
And
that's
I
great
think it's
advice.
helpful to get a therapist that has specialized in this because
Yes.
you can talk to a therapist, but if they don't know about the certain things for pregnancy postpartum, it can be pretty invalidating to talk to a therapist who doesn't quite get it
Yep.
or
Yeah.
isn't educated in that.
Yep.
Just my 2 cents.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. So I'm in all of California. I'm virtual, so anybody can see me pregnant, postpartum.
What's the
all
name
the
of your
things.
practice?
It's just my name, Brittany Sallaberry. It doesn't have a name really. It's just my website is brittanysallaberry.com.
Okay.
And then on Instagram, I'm therapy by Brittany. And it's just me.
I love it.
Yeah.
Well, it's amazing having you. Thank you for
Thank
sharing
you.
your
Thank you so
stories
much.
and
Thank you.
being a part of our perinatal community.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Love it.
So important.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Thank you.
Well,
Thanks for having me.
Well,
cheers.
cheers. Yes.
Hope you feel your mood booster.
Totally.
Thanks for joining us on Girly Pop Birth Talks, where we hold space for the messy and meaningful journey of becoming her.
If today's story moved you, made you laugh, or reminded you of your own strength, we'd love it if you subscribed, shared the episode, and left us a quick review.
We're so glad you were here.
Seriously, you're one of us now.
We can't wait to do this again soon.